It's time for our second installment of Frequently Asked Questions. Many people ask, Chris, where do you come up with your material? Well, this week we were running a little low on material, so we set the house on fire.
Well, not quite the house. The kitchen. We are getting ready to go out for dinner.
Why?
Well,
why aren't we making dinner at home?
Well, we attempted to cook a wonderful set of ribs tonight, and oh, were they going to be good.
Oh, I love ribs. Nice and smoky flavor.
Smoked ribs, and oh, they were going to be so good. And you may recall from our cooking adventure when we made the bunny cake that the first thing I did when turning on the oven was, well, let's just flash back to that moment.
Did you check the oven to see that it was empty before you turned that on?
It is. I didn't do it this time.
That's remnants of the pizza box, and that's our oven. And there's our coffee maker, which looks like it's covered in about 8 days of dust. There's our,
there you go.
There's the pizza box. There's our little lifesaver. That is the fire have a fire extinguisher available, and you might want to look at the directions on how to use it before the fire starts. Here's a recreation. I come in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. Shivaun is over here with her back turned to the oven doing something. My mother's over there, and the smoke is coming out of here.
It's billowing out.
Like,
right, but the stove was closed.
So I open the stove.
Oh, the oven. That's the oven.
Good. I open the oven, and did you ever see that movie Backdraft, where it gets the oxygen and all of a sudden, poof? Well, that's what happened. I open it up, and all of a sudden this pizza box goes,
yeah.
And then the flames go all up. Well, you can see the black here. And so I immediately, swiftly run under here, get the fire extinguisher, rip open the top, rip out the thing, and I couldn't figure out how to do it.
And he said some bad words.
I did say a few bad words. Then I pulled it. I hit it once with the fire extinguisher and it went out.
It was amazing.
It really worked well.
And then the room filled.
I mean, a room becomes unbreathable really fast.
And there's Mrs. O'Donnell, who survived it well.
Handles her crises with a lot of dignity.
Dignity and grace.
And grace.
Yes.
Do you want to say anything to the folks
Tell me something. Do you think we have to get a new oven?
Here's what happened. I don't want to use the term mental illness. Let's say it's eccentricity. That my mother doesn't like to have, pizza boxes laying around the house because they look
appearances.
Bad. Appearances are very important.
Very important to her, which the poor woman has to have me for a daughter-in-law. I won't, you know, so she's got a cross to bear as it is.
Yeah, okay. When we have pizza, instead of just putting the pizza box over by the garbage and letting it be taken out in the natural course, she'll put it in the oven to hide it. Sometimes she hides it, and then next day you go to make a meal, and someone goes to preheat the oven.
So it was quite an event in the old O'Donnell household. The fire department did come, and they're wonderful. The Wilkes-Barre fire department, they came up and they sort of surveyed the premises and told us everything that we should do. And Pikachu, how did she react to the fire? She slept through it. Slept through the whole thing.
There was a lot of pressure on us for material because we were, of course, Blog of the Week last week.
Of PA Live on WBRE 28. And the story was wonderful. The woman Shannon from NEPA Bloggers really did a great job of researching us and everything, and the host of the show, she was wonderful.
She mentioned that I was a former stand-up comic and that you were a former
And she actually said that you're pretty funny.
Wow, she must have really researched.
Yeah.
And then with me, every semester was exactly the same. I'd start by going, this time, by God, this time I'm reading along with that class. I'm going to start those papers on time. And it'll be like the night before the exam. I've got 8 hours until the exam. And 24 chapters to read. I can read 3 chapters per hour and stay up all night long. Or I could be at the bar in 15 minutes.
back that hairstyle.
But I wanted to show you my stage triumph as Shadow the Dancing Dog in Adventures on the Bunny Trail. And I've been limited to 1 clip per person. So if it happens to sneak on to the end of the episode...
Because Shivaun has weaved that story into every conversation she's had with every human being since 1997 or so.
Actually, the first time he came over to my house...
I watched that.
I showed him that video and I showed him my skydiving video.
And I stuck around. I swear to God, I went over to your house that first time, and I thought you were moving. Swear to God, I thought you were moving. It never occurred to me.
I was moving. Wait a minute. I was moving. I was moving.
The house was such a wreck.
No, I was.
I thought you were moving.
I was moving. I moved at the end of that month. I moved because you helped me move, and we had barely known each other for like a month.
That's right.
Okay? I was moving.
Time once again for the literary... Oh. My drums broke.
Yeah, I think you had a little too many Abe's hot dogs this week.
The literary experience of a lifetime.
Yes, he's going to give you his Ulysses update, and
It's
he
time
has
for the Ulysses update.
poured through a few more pages.
And poured through, yes. Ran through, no.
There were 2 guys shaving each other on the top of
That's
the
true. I
Martello
made
Tower.
it 2 pages in. Well, 24 pages now. I've been writing down the character names. I've been taking notes. I actually wrote WTF question mark question mark question mark just to show.
Was that wow, that's fantastic?
Wow, that's fantastic. That's exactly right. After reading the 24 pages, what I did was I got on the internet and got the Cliff Notes so that I know what the hell I'm reading. I can't wait till this is over.
Oh boy. And when you were doing your drum roll, I did want to point out to people that Chris was using his abdominals for that. And last week, it did sound a little bit better, and that's because I think he gained some weight this week. Now, which brings me to our weight discussion. I know people feel like I have been deftly sidestepping the weight issue, which actually is true. I think I did weigh myself this week. I am 132.6, which apparently I am destined to be. However, I'm more muscular than I had been due to my tap dancing, due to my bike riding, and due to my other exercising.
You never want to mess with a tap dancer.
Exactly.
Okay? Because they will walk all over your face.
Fun stuff to do in Wilkes-Barre on a Friday night. Chris did what?
Went to Prometheus.
Went to
the movies.
I did not want to see Prometheus, so I was able to go a block and a half up the street to Downtown Arts, and I saw this great event with the whirligig. It was this hula hoop spectacular, set to music, and it was beautiful, and it was set to the story of Jabberwocky, which is a Lewis Carroll thing, which I had to learn when I was in 5th grade. It was wonderful. Turned out,
I'm so sorry. I went to see Prometheus.
I were allowed to do free hula hooping outside afterwards.
They didn't charge you for the hula hooping afterwards?
And Angie and Dawn have hula hoop. All right, there's Angie. Woohoo! Go, girl. Excellent. Yeah, you bet. Also, there's a new ice cream place called Dairy Godmothers, right downtown, right by the movie theater. It was wonderful. We really loved that you stopped by again, and I can't wait to see you next week. Thank you for stopping into Sundays with Shivstifer.